Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen.
Janice Combs, how you feel about her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-off.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs, and he knew Miss Combs, and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug.
50 Cent has set the internet on fire by confirming that Season 2 of his no-holds-barred Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, is officially in motion. And this time the focus pivots to Janice Combs, the strategic backbone behind the mogul's ascent and the quiet power long-shaping bad boy entertainment. Sources suggest major platforms avoided crucial material from the first release, but now 50 is moving independently and unapologetically. He's gearing up to launch this bold new chapter directly on YouTube, promising a raw, never-before-seen angle and making it.
Let me introduce you to my mom, called Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'll be with you.
Yeah.
I love
On career, so I'm going to say what on my mind and what I think, brother. First of all, that's his mother. Wrong, right, or indifferent, she gonna lie, steal, kill, and protect her child. That's what she's supposed to do. But the apple don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. He didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big time drug dealer in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also, ladies of the night,
According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having sex. I mean, that was just their normal. And the doc, when talking about the parties, Tim says, verbatim, that's what we were privy to.
2. The story opens in Diddy's early years as the documentary explores how loss and discipline shaped his foundation. A close family associate reflects on the death of his father, a respected presence in Harlem, who was taken when Diddy was still a child, forcing his mother, Janice, to step firmly into leadership at home. In the years that followed, their house evolved into a hub for influential voices, placing Diddy in close proximity to ambition, authority, and image from an early age. Those surroundings left a deep mark, and throughout the neighborhood, it was widely understood that something meaningful and powerful was taking shape behind those walls.
And put him down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor, bruh. He's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them. That's their whole thing, man. But that was a little kind of weird for me. And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in when she was describing her lawsuit. And what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had.
After the loss of Diddy's father, her focus intensified, and she began molding her son as both a symbol and a vehicle for upward momentum. The documentary notes that, as Patterson recalled, Their living room often turned into an informal showcase where Diddy and others were pushed to perform, move, and command attention while adults looked on with approval. In those early moments, Diddy absorbed critical lessons about visibility, presence, and control. How influence is built under watchful eyes.
She knew about the freakos.
Because one of the witnesses said she was there. And do you remember this, bro? Check it out. People tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it. Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting the IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, yep.
That's from the Diddy freak off party. And I'm going to say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her at one point, you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, will be a part of a freak off or no?
I think that she liked to party and she party with young people. She's always been like that. She always copied or emulated Little Kim and Mary J. Blige. Or they emulated her. The blonde hair, the nails, the mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch. And both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know. But they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off. She was ever at that type of party. But you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties.
What we were fed. A more troubling layer of Diddy's childhood comes into focus as those close to the family describe just how intentional and calculated his mother's influence really was. Longtime insiders have revealed that the dynamic between Diddy and Janice often made observers uneasy, signaling a deliberate effort to shape his relationship with attention, validation, and authority from a very young age. These were not random moments or casual guidance. They were structured lessons carefully reinforced over time, molding his perception of power and leadership well before success entered the picture. That early conditioning quietly built the foundation for the dominant presence that would later become central to his rise in the music industry.
Can you see that? Like,
Yeah, with the blonde hair and yeah, and all of that. I mean, somebody
really?
asked a question, what kind of man puts his hands on his mother? The same kind of man that parties with his mom. The same kind of man who kisses his mom in the mouth. The same kind of man who seems to have accurate knowledge that his elderly mother can put both of her hands, her palms, on the floor and while she's standing up, bent over.
Oh, damn, I ain't seen that one. Oh.
You never seen the Instagram video where he was talking about how his mom was still young and spry and how she still liked the party and how they was getting a IV drip?
Oh. Damn.
And she was kissing him in the mouth on the video. And it was like, yeah, my mom can bend over and touch the floor with her palms.
No.
It's a very, very, very weird relationship.
Having freakos.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak offs. And this guy lives in Georgia right now. And he told me that he was a stick-up kid back in the day. And one time he had robbed one of their spots. And he went back and he had got the money and gave them their money back and everything like that. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers and athletes. You could tell by I could tell that Miss Combs at the time, and actually saw her like young guys. She came at me a couple of times back in my heyday, before the extra 75 pounds back then. And the reason I left Bad Boy wasn't only because of her advances.
High-profile gatherings reflecting the atmospheres he was raised within. Janice was never removed from these spaces. She remained informed, attentive, and, according to multiple eyewitnesses, physically present at numerous events, quietly observing and influencing from the background. Her continued involvement underscored the path she had established long ago, reinforcing the idea that her guidance was not temporary, but permanently embedded in the persona and power structure Diddy ultimately came to embody.
Inaccuracies regarding my son Sean's upbringing and family life are intentionally done to mislead viewers and to further harm our reputation. She also maintains she was not an parent.
It's on a dotted line, but you actually signing to Janice Combs.
Did he ever tell you why that is, or do you understand?
Now that I'm older, I know exactly what it is. It's a paper trail, so nothing can come bite me. If you come for me, you ain't coming for me.
Music, business, fashion. And one of the things that he had said, what he alleged in the documentary, and again, this is an allegation from him, was that the name Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs's name was not really involved in that on the corporate side. And one of the things he's saying is the reason for that was to avoid having to pay any liability from, the devastating basketball game that had happened in the early 90s, where he was the subject of wrongful death lawsuits because of the multiple deaths that had occurred as a result of that basketball game that Diddy was behind organizing. So that was really, surprising to hear.
Yeah, that was a big allegation, because the families of the victims killed in that stampede, it was horrible. We're talking about December 28th, 1991. Combs, fellow rapper Heavy D, they hosted this charity basketball game. The game took place at the gymnasium of the City College of New York. And according to the New York Daily News, before the basketball game started, people who weren't let inside, they broke a window, swarmed toward the entrance of the gym, all went down a staircase. The doors at the bottom of those stairs open towards the stairs, not towards the gym. So once a crowd got down there, they couldn't get the doors open and people started being crushed.
Between Diddy and his mother, especially after his father's death, when Janice pushed him into a leadership role far earlier than most could handle. That sudden shift carried intense pressure and responsibility, transforming their relationship into one marked by increasing control and oversight. Janice stayed deeply embedded in Diddy's personal and public worlds, closely monitoring his circle, steering his direction, and subtly influencing the routines and decisions that would eventually shape his rise, making her.
I was there. I was doing security. My team was supposed to have the outside. Puff came to me the day before we were supposed to do the job there and told me that Heavy D didn't want us to do the security outside. I had 18 men ready to do the security outside with my dogs like I always do. People knew how we used to roll. We would have the pits, the Rottweilers. You understand? We had that outside locked up. So anybody try to bum rush, anybody do that, we had the gates, the whole 9 yards. So we could stop all that. You know how people gonna get down in Harlem. You understand? So, and then when you got LL Cool J, you got Mike Tyson coming through there, and they coming through the front door so people see them. So they gonna go crazy. LL was the hottest thing out at that time. Mike Tyson was the hottest thing out at that time. They got all kinds of stars and people in there already. They was coming through the back. They came through the front. And it caused the door to be bum rushed. But if they had the gates up, if they had the dogs, and with the help of the police, that shit would have never happened, bro. That shit would have never happened. I was there. I saw it. I saw Jessica run down the steps after she grabbed the money box because my man Eddie was protecting her. And Eddie's the one called me on the walkie-talkie and said, yo, Jessica just locked me in outside the gym, Gene. You couldn't go down the steps after they bum rushed the door. You understand? I had to run around the whole gym on the outside, around the gym, down the steps, run across the basketball court, and open the front door. When I opened that one door, because it pushed inside, people start squeezing through that. Then I just kept doing the doors, and people was coming in there, falling dead, right out, just falling out right there. And once they got in there, they just fell out. It was crazy, bro. You know, he just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, you know, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going down those corridors.
And you blame Diddy for that.
Shedding light on the extent of Janice's reach and influence. According to these accounts, her involvement touched nearly every corner of Diddy's life, extending into rigid family routines and unconventional traditions that often surprise those on the outside. People familiar with the environment recalled a setting that felt tightly managed, structured, and impossible to overlook, leaving a strong impression on anyone who encountered it. That atmosphere, they say, played a significant role in shaping Diddy's mindset and behavior in ways few beyond that inner circle could ever fully understand.
Roger Bonds talked about the children as well. What kind of parenting relationship is that? But then again, that goes back to the conversation of Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. It was all known that she was spotted in them streets with Justin, and then she was spotted in them streets with Diddy, and they all tried to sit there and pretend like that wasn't what it was. Like, I don't know if anybody has not noticed, but ever since Diddy got pinched, they've all been trying to pretend like all of the stuff that we've seen that happened.
At the outset, Diddy's childhood stood apart from anything ordinary, marked by constant movement, layered influence, and an environment shaped by authority. Allegedly, even in his youth, Janice oversaw a tightly controlled social orbit from their home with a steady flow of people operating under her direction, something widely known, but rarely spoken about. Immersed in that setting, Diddy learned firsthand how control is asserted, how structure is maintained, and how power quietly operates behind the scenes. Those formative years left a deep and lasting mark, subtly sharpening the presence, discipline, and strategic instincts that would later fuel his ascent in the music industry.
Somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The series contains never-before-seen footage of Combs debating strategy with his lawyers in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
It also includes video of Combs greeting fans in Harlem.
Off my back. I'm gonna win. As long as you win, be with it. I'll accept it.
And then saying this about the interaction moments later.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
Now Combs' lawyers are demanding Netflix pull the series, threatening legal action, claiming Netflix is using stolen footage that was never authorized for release as part of what they call a shameful hit piece. The series is executive produced by Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alex Stapleton, who said, quote, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights," end quote. Before the cease and desist demand was sent yesterday, Stapleton and Jackson sat down with our Robin Roberts to discuss the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have
public statement. Yet, the quiet that follows has only intensified scrutiny. Despite the seriousness and potential reputational impact of these allegations, neither she nor Diddy has taken legal steps against 50 Cent or the outlets distributing the project. For many watching closely, that lack of formal opposition is telling, hinting that the narrative may be landing closer to home than expected. While everything remains in the realm of allegation, the absence of a direct challenge continues to amplify speculation, giving the impression that this story carries a weight they have chosen not to confront head-on.
And King Combs appear in a new trailer released December 28th to Instagram by Zeus Network's founder. In the trailer, Justin and Christian sit on a couch in a screening room while a series of headlines about their father cycle on screen. At the end of the trailer, Justin's phone vibrates and he answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently behind bars. No release date for the docuseries is given, though the teaser says viewers can expect it at some point in 2026. Combs shares Justin with ex-Mesa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. The rapper is also dad to 34-year-old son Quincy and daughters Chance, 19, twins Delilah and Jesse, also 19, and Love, who is 3 years old.
Face of Bad Boy, the core assets and decision-making power remained firmly in her hands. Exclusive interviews and behind-scenes footage highlighted by 50 Cent portray her as the ultimate strategist, managing the label's finances and navigating its challenges with precision. Insiders emphasized that when Diddy signed key documents, it wasn't merely out of respect. It was a deliberate safeguard, preserving her authority and strategic distance, a testament to the quiet but absolute command she held over the empire he represented.
Has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York and gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? You apologize on behalf of your father. Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still confess your father's innocent? Your daddy got 4 years! Your daddy got 4 years for abusing women! That's wrong! You should have more!
The foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the lies, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative, once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on 2 separate occasions occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin, saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme